Good evening, everybody. Welcome, Manchester United fans. Manchester United thinking of doing the unthinkable and offering Ruben Amorim a contract. Now, when I saw this today, I thought, surely not. Surely not. I mean, on what basis of that? But and looking at the situation at the end of the season, and as long as we do okay, my hair's a right mess, then they're going to look at offering the manager a new contract. And it's brought a lot of questions, and we've got plenty to discuss tonight, by the way. Plenty. I mean, I'm calling out Robbie Earnshaw, straight away in a minute, because I think that bozo is on our TVs trying to tell Man United fans how they should feel about Onana, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so here's the news then. So Manchester United apparently looking at offering a new contract to Manchester United's manager, which is Ruben Amorim. Now, football is a crazy quick thing. Football is a crazy quick thing. You can go from 1 week where we're all talking about Amorim potentially leaving to then Ineos doing the unthinkable and saying, hang on a minute, providing we do all right this season, we're happy to keep this guy. Now, it's worth remembering that with Ruben Amorim, it's worth remembering that he has, I think it's a year and a half left on his contract. I think he's due to expire to 2027. So straight away, Manchester United, you would think, sounding like they're trying to plan for the future. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm not. We've seen a lot of emotion from this manager in his short time here. In his short spell at Manchester United, he's not even been here a year yet. We've seen constant sackings. We've seen a formation that doesn't work. Now, look, this isn't about bashing Ruben Amorim. It certainly isn't. He's our manager, and we have to back him. But I just wonder if Manchester United are chucking out the wrong message here. I just wonder if Manchester United are almost looking like they're willing to reward failure. Sorry about that. Now, granted, it's not been the season that Manchester United had hoped that we would have last season, and then we've also got this season. There's a lot of. Is my audio breaking? Hang on a minute. Let me switch it. Let me switch it up. Let me do a bit of Taylor Swift and switch it up, or should I say, shake it off? There we go. 2 seconds. That Are we better? Put it on the wrong bloody audio. So are we in the potential here to be rewarding failure? Because Manchester United have to be very careful here as to what they're doing. Now, what does this mean for Manchester United for the season? Well, I'll tell you what it means straight away. It means that we are looking at doing something unthinkable, something that we've done before. We tied Ten Hag down, didn't we? And then we also ended up sacking the guy a few months later. So Manchester United have to make sure that they're certain which way they go about this. And when I say which way they go about this, I mean which way do they it cuts out when I'm a little too excited, honestly. I shouldn't get so excited, should I? Shouldn't get so excited. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. We'll be all right. We'll be a read. Are we giving the wrong message is what I'm trying to say here. Are Manchester United and are the ownership giving the wrong message to what it is that we've essentially done so far? Now, we absolutely know that Manchester United are in the rebuild stage, and I'm not stupid enough to sit here and say that we can't see that. But I just think at the moment there are far more important things to be doing, far more important people to be going out there and sorting contracts out for than the manager. If this was a manager of any other football club, based on the results that we've seen, the guy would be up for the sack. He would be. We've seen it several times. So I wonder if Manchester United are doing what I think we all know has come to be known as the dreaded vote of confidence. Is this another step of the dreaded vote of confidence? I don't want to see us make the same mistake as we've done before. Now, Ruben Amorim, of course, hasn't come out and spoke about this, and I'm sure when we get the interviews for the City game this weekend, it'll be spoke about. But I don't think Manchester United should even be looking at this at the moment. I don't even think we should be contemplating this at the moment. I think Manchester United should be concentrating more on the pitch, more on results. I'm all for showing unity, and we have come throughout a period here where unity and Manchester United do not go together. We've had a lot of snakes in the grass, and we've had a lot of people that are trying to undo what we're doing from the inside. I think Amorim has done his best to get rid of these people, But at the same time, just because of that, I don't think we should be looking at this manager and saying, let's get you tied down for another couple of years going past what we have here. Let's assess this at the end of the season, which I think Ineos would be extremely smart and savvy to do. I don't think us going out there and saying, let's just chuck this guy a new contract just to appease him, just to appease the fans, is what we should be doing. Unless they were to do a contract where if he does say he's going to walk, he doesn't take any money. But let's go through some hellos, because I'm sorry, I haven't been through all these just yet. And also, guys, make sure you have a look and become a channel member. We are so much stuff that we've got planned for you, you beautiful people. I'm speaking to Kev about this, and it's stuff I really want to reward you with. So make sure you click the link and become a member to the channel. Evening, Ben. Good to see you back again, my friend. I think these new times are helping you a lot more, mate. Wahaha! We were worried about you. We were absolutely worried about you. I hadn't heard of you for a couple of nights. We were terrified. Chappie, good to see you. Andy, great to see you. Good afternoon, Mr. Buckley. Jamie, hope you're well, my friend. And yes, make sure you hit the like button as you are coming in, and hit the subscribe if you're new. New contract, he hasn't earned that yet. That is the overriding feeling. We will go through that in a second. Ben says he's pleased with the news. Unless it comes from the club, I don't believe it, as the new setup doesn't seem to have many leaks. Anthony, that is a great comment, by the way. Before we go through the rest of the hellos here, that is a great comment. Manchester United with transfers this season, bar the Brian one, because we knew that we wanted Brian. It was the worst kept secret. They have kept their cards very close to their chest. I mean, hell, the Baleba news. No one had a clue that that was even in the pipeline. And all of a sudden, we were linked with the guy. So maybe what Anthony's saying here does have some gravitas to it. Maybe Manchester United, if we've not released anything about it, maybe it isn't true. But look, there's no smoke without fire. Andy says we have to give him at least to the end of the season. I agree. I do think that is a great comment there. And Andy, I think it would be wrong to say to him now, let's just tie you down and then we'll move forward. Cuts out a little. Yeah, I don't get excited at the moment. Pete, good to see you, mate. Pete will be on the 12th Man podcast, the show I used to be on before I was cruelly let go. I hope you're well, buddy. And Shane says, do you think even the board buys players for the manager like Ten Hag and Ruben? Do you think they also purchase those players under pretense that they can be sustainable under any future manager? No, I don't. Shane, I mean, look, we can't really say too much about Ineos at the moment because they obviously brought those players in under Ten Hag. It ultimately proved that they were nowhere near sustainable for the new setup. So I don't think it is. I do think that the club have a clear pathway now of who they look for and what type of player they bring in. Just formation-wise, I'm not so sure. And here he is, the main man, the OG. Good evening, Moxie. Good to see you. And as he said, make sure you like and subscribe there. Dominic says, I presume Ineos are looking at the improvement stats to give Amorim a new contract now. For me, why now and not in the new year after playing better and after showing improvement and more consistency? And you're absolutely spot on there. You're absolutely spot on there. Look, with my job and with your job, if you're doing a piss poor job week in, week out, and he has been, the results haven't been great. I manage a team of people. If they don't do their job correctly, if they are making mistake after mistake, am I right to go to my boss and say, I want more money? I want more money because, am I right to ask that? Or I'll flip it because we don't know if Amorim's asked. Is he right to come to me and say, do you know what, Dan, this is terrible, but we're going to give you more money. We're going to give you more money, mate. We like the fact that you're passionate. You don't want to see me at work, honestly. Mood swings ridiculous. So, it's a tough one. Jarone says, big up, Dan. Race for Europe isn't the same without your pal. I really appreciate that, mate. Really appreciate that. Tell Potts that. He hasn't had me on a show since. I did one for him where I bloody covered for him. I haven't been back on. He must not like me anymore. Rob says, hi, I just liked and subscribed. Big shout out to Rob. Thank you very much, my friend. And I still like what I see. He has only sorted half the team, and Sesko was bought for next season, not this. We need Lemmy to work, and that's the key at the moment to get to Jan, then Baleba. Anthony's got it all worked out. He's got it all worked out. I tell you what we'll do, because you know that this is a show where I do relish your opinions. I do love your opinions. We're going to do a bit of a poll. Why not? Why not? Let's have start a poll. Does Amorim, nice and simple, deserve? I can't even spell deserve. Deserve Ray a new contract? Yes or no? Does Amorim deserve a new contract? I am going to give you my thoughts on this. Okay, my thoughts are I think Manchester United would be ridiculous to give this man a new contract with a bit of substance here. I'm not saying I want him gone. What I'm saying is, I think Manchester United should just slow down a little bit. Slow down and let's just wait and see how this season pans out. We already know that this guy is going to get the season. He is. We've seen that there is improvement in stats. But as Tez said last night, and by the way, if any of you have missed the show from last night with Tez and with Rich from Red Devils United, make sure you go and have a look at it. It is on the channel. Great panel show with some really good points made there. But as Tez said, yes, Manchester United are being blinded with the fans now by stats. We're XG, we're putting crosses in, we're doing this, we're doing that, blah, 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 blah. But the main thing and the most important thing that we're not doing is putting the ball in the back of the net enough. We're not. So we still need to see improvements. I still need to see improvements from this manager before I can sit here in front of you beautiful people and say, yeah, let's do it. Let's tie him down to a new contract. And do you know what? I know that is no way in anybody's factor, in my opinion, but this is why we do this channel, because it is a community. I give you my take, you give me your take. So I want to know, guys, put it in the comments. Do you think that Amorim is deserving of a new contract? Do you think he is? Because I don't, not yet, not yet. Dominic says it would be good to see us win 2 on the trot before offering him a new contract. And Dominic makes a great point there. Like, we haven't even won 2 in a row under him. I mean, it's like, come on. Do you know what I mean? It's let's not run before we can walk here. Parv, I love that name. One of my mates at work's called Parv. Hi, Dan. Good evening from India. I think Amorim should be seen till November or December. So I think we're all on the same sort of thing here. Let's slow down and wait and see. And I think there's nothing wrong with Manchester United as a club, as a fan base, as his employers saying that. I just don't want us to jump the gun here. It depends on what it is and why is there a clause if he walks, if he misses Europe, etc. And that's a good point. Look, United, if they're going to offer him a new contract, could absolutely take control of that and say, look, we need to see improvements. If we don't get European football, then there should be a break clause. You know, we shake hands. Stuff like that could protect Manchester United, because if he doesn't get Europe, questions will be asked. And as we said last night, and I think a lot of you would agree with this, if he doesn't get Europe, then he's not the man for the job. Manchester United have spent 250 million. They've spent a lot of money. Regardless of the fact we say we need more players, with that amount of money, you'd expect us to be pushing in the right direction. You would absolutely expect us to be pushing in the right direction. Yeah, Rich is a great guy, an absolute great guy. And Tez, honestly, I'll put his Twitter in the chat in a bit. He is brilliant on Twitter. He breaks things down so incredibly. If we beat City, they will, but it's too soon, says Chappie. Well, the game is this week. It's Sunday, and I cannot wait for that. I am buzzing. I must admit, I have a sense of hope against Manchester City. I don't fear them. I really don't. Andy says we need to score more and stop conceding, and we can think about it. Yeah, well, look, you'd like to hope that what we've done, and we'll move into the goalkeeper chat in a second. You'd like to think that the changes that we're making in the goalkeeping department, that should slow that down. We're always going to concede goals, but I agree, Andy. We need to be a bit more stronger defensively. The one thing I will say is Manchester United's shots faced this season is relatively low. Considering how bad we are, coming for corners and for dead ball, Manchester United have only faced on average. I can't remember. I'll get the stat in a second. Or is it conceded 1.3 a game? It's not as high as we'd have expected. Jamie says not going to see goals though when we don't play a striker. Well, he has to change that on Sunday. Haha says our match against Switzerland starting, so your mug will have to be put in the background. We'll still listen. My mug. My beautiful mug, I think you'll find. Haha. And Rob says Amorim needs results fast or it can go badly and we need to see improvements. No contract at the moment for me, but hopefully he can turn it around. And actually, I'll say this. I will say this. If he can turn it around, then fantastic. And we want this manager to succeed. Like, Manchester United fans are craving a manager that can stay here for longer than 2 or 3 seasons and start building something. When you look at Klopp, when you look at Pep, you look at Slot at the moment in Liverpool, he looks like he's there for a while. I don't want to be that club that sacks manager after manager after manager. But unfortunately, in the last 12 years, needs must. We've had managers that have taken us to their absolute pinnacle, and it just isn't good enough. We want longevity with a manager. This guy's 40 years old. If he gets it right, this manager could be here for years. And we want that. We want the continuity. Chappie says, yeah, we absolutely made a mistake with Ten Hag. Chelsea game will be a decider that we have improved or not. I'll tell you what, there's going to be a red in that game. If Garnacho starts, if I was Chelsea, if I'm Chelsea manager, I'm absolutely not Garnacho against United because you know United players are going to kick lumps out of him, and it's going to bring cards, it's going to bring free kicks. So if I was Chelsea manager, I'd be playing them against us. It's going to be a bit like the Arsenal game, but hopefully without a keeper error. We freaking hope so. And Bubba Flossie, good to see you. Dan, how much bonus should we give to Amorim if he wins the Premier League for us? Give him the fucking keys to the city if he pulls that off. Jesus Christ. And I think the team would be stronger with the back forces. Andy, we're preaching to the quiet, bro. You know my thoughts on that. I think we should be doing that too, but it just doesn't, alas, it doesn't seem like that is the case. Let's have a quick look at where we are with the votes. With the votes. Let's get the votes. Let's have a look. I don't know where I bloody put it. Where are we? Here we go. The votes are at the moment. Oh, God. I love it when the votes are like this. I love it when it's like this. We are deadlocked. 53% of you are saying no. 47% of you are saying yes. That's the closest it's been in a while. Make sure you get your vote in, folks. Should Manchester United give Amorim a new contract? Does he deserve one? Let's get those votes in. That is really close. I'm really happy with that. That just shows just how much this man is dividing us at the moment. Not with the way he plays, but just how we feel about him long term. And it's great. I love that. I bloody love that. Oh, I don't know what's happened there. My mate Steve always bloody tries to ring me when we. What's happening with my screen there? Let's have a look. I've got a bit zoomy here. Let's have a look. We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. Hang on a minute. That's proper zoomed in. That is, people. Do you know what? We'll be all right. We'll be all right. We'll keep it going. Technology and me at the moment. Absolute nonsense. And it's because people bloody ring me when I'm on bloody stream and it really pisses me off. Anyway, I digress. Let's go through some more of these comments. So what does Moxie say? He says, I'm crossing all my fingers hoping that come January we're in the top 7 and challenging for European places. And then going quick and buy Gahey from Palace before we ain't getting Gahey from Palace, Moxie. I love the drama. I love the thoughts there on that, but there is no way that we are getting Gahey. I just don't see a world in which that happens. Let me just move this back a second. Yeah. I'm going to have to start putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, ain't I? I'm going to have to absolutely start putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let me just change that a second. Let me just change that. I don't know why that's bloody doing that. Camera, let's go. There we go. We're back. What happened there? We're back. Boom. So let me just honestly threw me off. Evening, Kev. Good to see you, mate. Really good to see you, and hope you are well. Still editing. Full focus with you shortly. And Chappie says 47% must be non-United fans. Amorim, if he is to survive, has to be more flexible with his system. Top managers can do it. And there we go. Look at that, giving in the hellos. So also, right, this is the next bit I want to go through. And this, when I saw this today, and if you've seen my short, you'll know how angry I am. This is what absolutely irritates me about these ex-players. Don't ever let anybody tell you that these ex-players have a right to speak about football more than you do. Because when I sat there today and I saw Robbie fucking Earnshaw, who has got no affiliation to Manchester United whatsoever. Like, what on earth does this guy have anything to do with Manchester United? Like, were they literally running out of people to speak to? Is Robbie on the phone? Get Robbie. Yeah, we'll get. Robbie Earnshaw talking about Manchester United is like me talking about fucking muscle build, weightlifting with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It doesn't go together. It doesn't go together. And so when I hear this moron come on and tell us that we should panic about Onana going because he's a decent goalkeeper, he's proved he's a very good goalkeeper. When he was at Inter and he's had a lot of great games for United. I sit there and go, what on earth? What on earth are we paying our Sky Sports subscription for when we have to listen to just moronic, oh God, idiotic comments like that? Absolutely baffles me. Like, in what world did they sit there and go, who can we get to talk about Onana leaving Manchester United? Who can we get that knows everything? Robbie Earnshaw. Yeah? Robbie Earnshaw. The mind boggles. Like, are they really scraping the barrel that much that we have to listen to Robbie Earnshaw, who played for West Brom, played for played non-league? Why does this guy get a right to talk about Manchester United? And I'll say something that is going to absolutely shock the lot of you. I would much rather listen to Mark Goldbridge be on there and talk about it. At least he's something to do with the club. But to sit there and listen to frigging Robbie Earnshaw telling us that we should panic. Honestly, I don't know why on earth they think that we want to hear this from people like that. Like, if it was about West Brom, absolutely. Or if he's talking about, if he's talking about Collier at West Brom, fair enough. He's a ex-West Brom player. He's scored loads of goals for him. But when we're listening to Robbie Earnshaw talk about Onana leaving United, and by the way, Onana has landed on his feet ridiculously. If you've seen the news today from Fabrizio Romano, this is what's wrong with football. What I'm about to tell you is everything that is wrong with football. Okay, let's start it. According to Romano, Onana is set to land on his feet, being loaned out to Trabzonspor. Brilliant. Not only is he guaranteed regular minutes, the journalist understands the goalkeeper will earn more money in Turkey. It is expected his flat wage will be the same as the salary at Old Trafford, but the signing on the bonuses being offered to Onana by the Turkish club mean he is better off financially there. I just like. Do you remember when a loan was a loan? Like, you loan the player, you pay his wages, off you go. How has this bloody bozo managed to get himself a transfer to Trabzonspor and be paid more money for it? More to the point, where's all this money coming from in Turkish football? I need to link up with a Turkish fan and actually get an understanding as to how this happened. Anthony laughing faces at Earnshaw. That's all I could do. Ex-United players piss me off. They were never in the team. They were never in teams that struggled. This again is so true. Like, I have to listen to Rio Ferdinand and co. sit there and talk about how United are this and that, and they should be getting this player and that player. And then I think, Rio, I remember when we were struggling under Moyes, and what happened? Off you went to bloody QPR, mate. It baffles me. But Robbie Earnshaw of all, just ridiculous. You may as well get Ian Rush on there talking about it. What are you doing? Let's get Tim Henman on there talking about Onana. Names, a lot of them. Anyone with a pair of eyes and any idea about football knows Onana should never put on a football kit again. I tell you what, go on TikTok, put in Premier League, right? The official Premier League channel. The Premier League have put together information about Onana that makes this guy look like we've just lost the best thing since Peter Schmeichel. Like, I was watching it and I was going, hey, I don't remember. This keeper looks decent. I mean, oh God, I've said it before. You can make anyone look good in a bloody highlights video, and that's what the Premier League have done. Like, I reckon Onana's done the video for him and sent it. Honestly, Robbie Earnshaw, that has triggered me. Honestly, probably a lovely bloke. But when I sit there and I see Robbie Earnshaw talking about United, blood doth boil. Rob says, I'm definitely not a fan of the back 3-5. It doesn't work, but I can't see the manager changing anytime soon. Get used to it, dude. It's going to be like that for a while. And Dan, how many different formations have we played? And they haven't worked either, though. So maybe change is needed and time given. You know my thoughts. said I'm happy to give him till January to sort this out. 120k plus 120. This guy's getting 240k a week in Turkey. Anana's getting 240k a week in Turkey. Anana gets his rise and plays in the Leicester League, Lord Dominic says. Earnshaw was a striker. This is it. It's not even as if they had like Petr Cech on. You know, they could have put bloody Neville Southall on there and I'd have sat there and gone, well, Neville Southall was a decent goalkeeper, but Robbie fucking Earnshaw triggered me. And Kev's going to tell me off for swearing, but I tell you what, this is just Sky Sports news for you. Every country's local league has good money, fair. Pretty sure Henman wouldn't talk so much nonsense. Oh, God. I'll tell you what, chat, there's 32 of you watching in here at the moment. Who would you rather listen to talk about goalkeepers than Robbie Earnshaw? Yeah? Who would you rather? Who would you rather? Or who could talk more sense about a goalkeeper than Robbie Earnshaw? Why is this hatred to Robbie Earnshaw all of a sudden? Poor bloke was probably told to go on there, but who could talk more sense than Robbie Earnshaw about a goalkeeper? I mean, it's not. Robbie Earnshaw had the my screen there. Robbie Earnshaw had the potential to have everybody go, this guy's a legend. He could have quite easily come on and gone, Robbie Earnshaw, not Robbie Earnshaw, not talking about himself. Onana is the worst goalkeeper I've ever seen. That's all he had to do. That's all he had to do. Walk in, worst goalkeeper ever. Mic drop, off I go. Hell. Good to see you as well, Sophie. Hope you're well. New contract, what for? Smash them likes. Yes. I know. David Seaman, Edwin van der Sar, Shay Given. Honestly, I tell you what. I tell you who I'd rather listen to talk more about goalkeepers. Joey Barton. And that guy's an absolute plane. Can't stand him. Hate him. But Robbie Earnshaw has no affiliation. The outs alone should give Ruben a new contract. Fair. Michael Amity James has been silent on Onana. Honestly. I mean, I'm surprised Gabby Bonlaw hasn't got in on this one. Even though we won trophies, Eric Ten Hag really put us in the shite regarding De Gea. For Onana is criminal. Yeah, well, there we go. Yeah, I hate him too, Sophie. But I tell you what, he probably knows more about football than Robbie Earnshaw. I hate him. I do hate him. James Joyce wouldn't talk so much shite. I'd rather. Do you know what? Who can I think of? That is probably going to have no clue about football, but I'd rather listen to talk about a goalkeeper than bloody Robbie Earnshaw. Postman Pat would know more. Fucking Robbie Earnshaw. Anyway, let's not dwell on that. So, of course, the other thing to talk about today, we will get to Man City. The other thing to discuss today is the many happy returns to Bruno Fernandes. 31 today. Brilliant, fantastic. I forget how old he is. Forget how long he's been here as well. So many happy returns to him, and hope he wonder. Love that, Andy. Love that. Got a backhander for an Arna deal, absolutely. Anyway, is it true? Have United offered him? No, it's reports coming out that we are assessing it and we are looking at getting him. Rewarding him with a new contract at the end of the season. If you're late to the show, Manchester United potentially looking at giving Ruben Amorim a new contract if he can deliver this season. Amorim did an interview where he was asked about the formation and said, once the players can play how he wants, the style of play is implemented, then we can change it to other systems. But first, must understand, Christ, honestly. Just the mind boggles with that one. I hear it. So, yeah, the news today then. Some of you might have seen that Man City have agreed a settlement with the Premier League. Now, the Premier League has reached a settlement with Manchester City over its challenge to sponsorship rules around associated party transactions. Now, we could try and divulge this into the simplistic form as best as possible. But do you know what? Terry Flowers did a great one today. So as part of the settlement, City have accepted that the current APT rules are valid and binding. The Premier League have given City assurance that they wouldn't be treated differently with securing sponsorship deals with the Abu Dhabi-linked companies like Etihad. And both sides agreed to end the arbitration and not comment further. So the outcome basically is Man City can go out there and get an absolute stunning sponsorship deal with Etihad Airways, and apparently the reports are it's a fucking billion, man, $1 billion. Now, Here's what I say about this. I could sit here and say Man City are cheats, they're this, that, and the other. But in reality, if we could get away with it, I would absolutely say no problem. So Man City have won this battle. They've got it. They've got it all agreed with the Premier League. It's been hush hush. It's been settled out of court. The problem, I think, for the 115 people here is I think that will be next, and I think that will be settled as well. I think 115, I've been very quiet about this because, in my eyes, it's innocent until proven guilty. I think 115 will be settled very soon. I mean, it was meant to be settled a couple of years ago, wasn't it? A year ago, sorry. So I think that will be done pretty soon. But I don't think we should dwell on the Manchester City news, and I don't think we should sit here and go, "Oh, they're cheating, they're this, they're that." Because what I would say is, and Sophie, you probably agree with this because you're a Newcastle fan, it does open up other teams to be able to get their sponsorship in to essentially get themselves higher up the table. So it's going to help some clubs, other clubs we don't want it to help. But look, the one thing I will say is Manchester City have spent a ton of money over the past 6 months, 8 months, if you include January. And where's it got them? They look abysmal at the moment. So money at the moment, money can't buy you everything, as they say. And at the moment, Manchester City don't seem to be doing what they would have liked to have achieved so far with the money they've spent. So the game's the game. You can get angry at it, or you can turn around and say, "Do you know what? Let's just move on with it." I choose to move on with it. It's not gonna affect the way I feel about Manchester United. And so I don't want to give it much airtime. But I thought it was best to speak to you guys about it, and try and help understand. Joe Hart has done some punditry. Don't like the bloke, but would rather listen to him. Hey Ben, I sat next to him in school. Not even joking. I sat next to Joe Hart in school. Went to school with him. Claim to fame. Do you really think the board would be talking about a new contract now? This is the thing, though, Anthony. Nothing surprises me with Manchester United, and I go back to what I said. Is it that dreaded vote of confidence? That's what you have. Oh, hang on a minute. That's Mrs. Robinson ordering the Chinese. What a woman. What? Hang on a minute. I think she's got my bloody card. She didn't have my card. There's me thinking I'm getting lucky with a Chinese. I'm bloody ordering it. He's a douche. Yeah, he is, absolutely. City can no longer get crazy money sponsors. They can, Carl. They can. They absolutely can. The ability to finalise a huge deal with Etihad Airways, potentially worth up to $1 billion without being blocked. They can definitely do it. Joe Hart is pretty good, to be fair. Everton will be peed off with that news. They absolutely will. And I think the total charges are at 130 now. I mean, I've lost count. I've absolutely lost count because there's no point. I don't think they'll get hit with it because the Premier League can't win. That's probably why, and they will just continuously get to court, which they can't afford. And as Queen Sophie has said, we know who it helps. It definitely helps Newcastle United because Newcastle United, with their ownership, can absolutely go out there and sort out their issues that they've had with the PSR situation, with the income coming in. And so they should as well. I mean, they're the richest club in the world. Moxie says he has been given time. He has to be given time, as I've said before. We can't stay on the managing merry-go-round. Another good clear out in the summer, followed by another 45 players who are Amorim signings coming in. And if they get away with it, Newcastle will be getting their wallets out pretty fast. They tried this summer, didn't they? But they couldn't bloody get anyone until the end. That's not it, mate, I promise. Anthony, I look, potentially it is, but I would be. Here's why I think it isn't completely clickbait. Here's why I think it's completely clickbait, because there is no denying that Manchester United's board, the ownership, Barada and co, they like Amorim. They want him to succeed. It wouldn't surprise me if after the latest round of I'm going to quit, I've had enough, if they turn around and said, look, we appreciate you, Ruben. We want you to be the long term here. We will give you a new contract. If we can get the season sort of where we need it to be, we'll give you another contract. We want you to stay. That's what I think. That's what I think's happened. If City gets away with it, I think I'm done watching the Premier League. If they allow cheaters to do what they do, then what's the point to even play the game? Well, it doesn't just happen here, Joel. Things like this don't, there are teams out there that get away with far worse than Man City, and one of them is Barcelona. Jasper, what are you saying? I don't know. Barcelona. I don't know how Barcelona are able to be run as a football club. I genuinely don't. But seriously, what is the reward of a new contract? Well, there we go. I've already said that one. And 1-0 Switzerland. Let me know how our boy's getting on. Is he playing? Now, the next bit of news that's been coming out today and surfacing is that Manchester United in January are going all out for a midfielder. Now, before we get the Belabour streamers out and we get the t-shirts done, Belabour and all that nonsense, I I don't think we go for Belabour in January. I think if Manchester United are going to go and get anything sorted in January, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back in for a Conor Gallagher. I don't see us going in for a fuel man. I don't see us going into the January market and trying to spend big to bring a midfielder in. They're halfway through. They're halfway through the season. Could be out of form. Could be having the form of their life. And B, the premium you would pay for a midfielder in January would be absolutely ridiculous. We talk about Manchester United tax being an extra 10, 15, 20 million. January, you add another 10 million onto that. You're not able to prize away midfielders who are doing well at their club in that time unless you play stupid money. What you are able to do is go out there and get a midfielder who's not playing in their team at the moment, who's out of the side, who wants to play continuously week in, week out, who wants to go to the World Cup for their country. That is Conor Gallagher. I wouldn't be surprised if we are keeping tabs on this guy now completely from now until January. I wouldn't be surprised. I think that makes all the sense in the world. By then, I think we will have hopefully seen that we are somewhere near a Jasper. What are you saying, bud? What are you saying? This cat. Jasper. Come and say hello then. There you go. You're on the you're on the TV. You're on the TV. You happy? Fuming, in you. You'd like to think that Manchester United, when it gets to January, hopefully we'll have a good idea where our season is panning out. By January, for me, we have to be at least between the positions of 9th and 7th. 9th and 7th, we have to be in those positions. If we're in those positions and we are needing to get that midfielder in, Jasper, I love you more than me, mate. You fucking know this, don't you? Then yeah, I think we go out there and we go balls in for a midfielder. But as far as a midfielder that's going to come in and be part of the change of Manchester United and how we perform, I think that's left until January, till the new season. I genuinely do. I don't think Manchester United go out there and do their summer transfer work straight away. I'll tell you what, look at that. Honestly. There's me saying Conor Gallagher. What's Mr. Goldbridge put? Conor Gallagher. Yeah, Mark, we beat you again, mate. We beat you again. We're quicker. I joke, of course. So that's where I see it. When I see the news that Manchester United are going to go all in January to get a midfielder, it doesn't excite me in the slightest. I don't sit there and think, oh, that's it. We're going to spend them. We're going to spend the M's here. Yeah, it's all about the P's and the M's. I think we go out there, we get a load deal done. Now, with all of this contract talk, I did see some bits and pieces today that potentially we were looking at trying to tie Kobbie Mainoo down to a new contract. Yes, I'm fine. Good to see you, Starva. I hope you're well, my friend. Sophie says, I think 8th to 10th predictions for United is on, to be honest. Okay, not like that. Mark never has a cat on his show, though he doesn't. Yeah, absolutely. I could have said something and saying it really wrong there. Real Madrid and Barcelona. I never watched La Liga because of Real Madrid. Real Madrid, Royal Madrid. They're always going to get paid out, aren't they? But look, this is the other thing. So when I talk about contracts at Manchester United and we talk about the Amorim situation, we talk about is he deserving? Should he have one? I think Manchester United should be tying Kobbie Mainoo down to a contract long before we speak to Amorim. Now we know that. In fact, let me just bring it up. When is Mainoo's contract? I'm sure it's like 2 years with a contract extension potentially. Let's have a look. So contract expires the same time as Amorim. Would you believe it? Manchester United, I think, instead of even thinking about going and doing this whole thing with Amorim, should from now until January, work on getting him back in the squad, getting his mind focused, because regardless of the fact that he said what he said and he called out the United stand, regardless of that, we ain't stupid, folks. Manchester United fans are not stupid. Football fans are not stupid. We may act it sometimes, but we're not stupid. We know that he knew exactly what he was doing with what he was posting. He was posting things And Manchester United fans absolutely, I think, reacted the way he didn't expect. I really do. So I think now we need to sort out that relationship between Manu and the club between now and January. Let's do this before January comes along and we get the usual, oh, Chelsea are interested, Napoli are interested, Leeds want him on loan, Newcastle want him. I think that's United's next priority. Yeah, absolutely. Go out there and scout a midfielder and look and see if we can better what we've got. But let's make sure we're looking after the gems that we have already. Because Kobe Mainu, for me, it has to be a player that stays here for 10 years minimum. 10 more years minimum. So that's my thoughts on what we do with the contract. Instead of thinking about the manager, let's go out there. Let's get Kobe Mainu. Jasper, see everyone's sitting. I think he's in the basket now. And Marcus, yeah, we've said that one, haven't we? We have been trying to give Manu a contract for last year. He wants crazy money. Yeah, Jarl, I've seen this, and I don't think I agree entirely. I don't think that Kobe Manu has come out and said, I want 180 grand. I'm not sure. I mean, the sources aren't exactly reliable. Let me just have a look. Kobe Manu wants 180. Yeah. Reports. So who are the reports from? Goal.com, Football 365. I just, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can believe it. Athletic said 10 times his wages. Let me have a look. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just haven't seen it. Athletic, Kobe, Manu, wages. Let's have a look. No, I can't see it. Try and drop the link in there for me. No, I just don't see it. I mean, look, he's on 20k at 20k a week, and let's be honest, 20k a week at 20 years old isn't exactly isn't. I mean, like, takes me about 3-4 months to earn that. Doesn't it? Takes me longer. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this guy wants that. I'm not sure that guy wants that. It wouldn't surprise me if we get him tied down, that we get him for we tie him down for 100 grand, something like that. Something within the realms of Amad Diallo. And look, you can say this about Kobe Manu. You can say this about him. This kid has played in a Euro final. He's won an FA Cup, scored in an FA Cup final. He's won the Carabao Cup with United. Yes, he was part of a team that was horrendous last season, but there are a lot of factors. To be honest, I see 100 grand. I think it gets done. I really do. And you know what? At the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if his agents are absolute morons. Of course, you could absolutely see the agent coming in saying, "Yeah, we want 180 grand." Why do you think they want that much? Because they want some of that with it, don't they? I don't think there's no way Manchester United would sign a contract with Kobe Manu for 180 grand. If it is true and he does want that, well, then he needs his head testing. He absolutely needs his head testing, because to pay a lad of his age that much money is just absurd. And more to the point, Manchester United, we'd like to think, aren't that club anymore that would bow down to that. Absolutely not. We tend to hype players too much, says Tom Nash. Tom Nash, good to see you for a while. We do, but that's football, isn't it? I mean, look at Arsenal fans with Max Diamond at the moment. I mean, I see Arsenal fans, just makes me laugh. Some Arsenal fans are saying that he should be a late consideration for the World Cup squad. Kid's not even finished his GCSEs yet. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, come on, realism. Evening, Carl. Good to see you. Don't worry, nothing wrong with being late, mate, as long as you're here. Not by Nate Vickers. Jamie, I'll take a look. What are you on about? Me too, on about. See that one. No player should think they are unmovable. And that's true. Absolutely true. And Moxie says, I don't think Manu does want crazy money. He's got another year left with not until 2028. I believe it will get sorted before the end of the season. Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it absolutely has to be done before January, Moxie. I think Manchester United have to get this done before January to stop the stupid rumours that will come out that he is up for sale and that he wants to go. The last thing that Manchester United want, right? Let me put it this way. The last thing Manchester United want or need is, say we get to January and say we're in a healthy position. Say by some Miracle, we're fifth, sixth, looking decent in the league. Then all of a sudden, there's a happy squad. Then all of a sudden it comes, Manu wants to go again. The last thing Manchester United need now would be another distraction. We need this group of players playing like a band of brothers. We don't want it where one could be going and then it causes unrest. So United, for me, have to get this done if they want to get it done in the next 3 months. I heard Anana is catching flights, not balls. Thanks for the Sunday dinner, Dan. Belting roasties. See, you become a member to the channel. I invite you round and I cook you at Sunday dinner. I made Kev a lovely beef dinner yesterday. I cooked my roast potatoes. It takes 2.5 hours to cook, but they're beautiful. Mainly should be 100k base wage and then performance-related bonuses, appearances, goals, assists, trophies. I think this is fair too. I think this is fair to me. I really, really do. I think that is absolutely bang on. Who's going to give Aaron a contract? Who's reporting this, bro? Where was it? Let me see. So it was a story about Robin Bear. It's been all over the bloody. Hang on a minute. Let me get it up. I do want to talk about Rashford in a second as well. We will discuss Marcus Rashford. Where are we? Where are you? It's just your standard newspapers, to be fair, mate. And again, we have to speak about it. We have to speak about it because it is the news. We may not like it, but we do have to speak about it. And I absolutely think it's the wrong decision. Yeah, bro, been away. Miss you, Dan, mate. Miss you too, Tom Nash. We always miss. It's good to see so many of the OGs back as well. I've missed a few of you since you've not been here. I don't see many wants his worth, and he is worth more than he is on. Yep. And to put it into perspective, Manu is a world-class talent potentially, and he is on 20k a week. Heaton is on 40. Heaton. I imagine you saying that to me. Heaton is on 40k a week. Heaton. Big up, Shane. Good to see you, my man. Great to see you. Love having you all in tonight. Unfortunately, I think Manu was in a group of young players on stupid wages in his head. They think if Rashi and Sancho can get what they can, why can't he? Yeah, I'd like to think that he's not in that because for me, Anthony, what we've not seen with Kobe Manu is we have, apart from towards the end, he wanted to go on loan, didn't want the transfer just on loan. I've not seen anything like Garnacho's levels. But having said that, with the post he put out a couple of days ago, I was worried. I did look at it and think, this has got Garnacho written all over it. I'd like to think he's well grounded, though. Pogba, Lingard, Rashford, Garnacho, all these have been hyped as big United Academy kids, but all ended up being bad. United, they did. Pogba won the World Cup. Rashford was decent, but wasn't consistent. Starvin says Manu should be getting more game time. He's a talented young midfielder. However, he is not worth 80k a week. 80k a week, let alone 880 grand a week. I think if we were to pay him 100 grand, I wouldn't be ridiculously angry about that. I wouldn't. I think that would be fair. I think that would be fair with it. I think he deserves a new contract, but have to keep the wages within the structure that they want it to be. And they do have a wage structure, Manchester United. Do we all remember the Diallo contract? Ahmad, everyone said, oh, this is worrying. Ahmad could be out of contract. We could lose him. He signed, I think Ahmad was 100k. If Ahmad's on 100k, I think that is where you'll see Kobe's wages. 100, right, okay, so Ahmad is on 120k a week. I would not be ridiculously angry if we matched him up with Kobe. If Kobe Manu matched up with him with wages, I wouldn't be angry. I think I can live with that. Honestly, what would the media have to talk about without United? Don't believe everything you read. Hated, adored, but never ignored. It's true. It's absolutely true. I haven't seen hardly as much media coverage for Aston Villa, for Man City, for West Ham, or Forest. I haven't seen any. You can't really put West Ham in there, but I haven't seen hardly any of the news articles that United get, considering we're above most of them. It's just the cool thing to do. It's just the cool thing to go out there and say, "Oh, United are shite. United are shite." Keepers have let them down. Like, I genuinely feel like the media. What would they have done if we hadn't have had those clankers in the first few games? And say we went on this. We got 7 points from the first 9. The media would be having a frenzy. Because I tell you what they'd be saying, Amorim, the second coming. Amorim's turned it round. The media with Manchester United, honestly, you need to get them on diazepam and just chill them the F out. Like that, I said F there. I didn't say the word. What else have we got here? Ineos will sort it out there. New signings are on no more than 180 grand a week. A nice new structure, to be honest. All players lost 25% by not playing in Europe. I agree with Ineos. And actually, I agree with me. I honestly agree with. That sounds like I'm being egotistical. I agree with me, but I do. I do agree with you. Amorim taking the lead from Sir Alex. No player is more important than the team and the badge, and that is true. I've said this several times. The name on the front of the shirt, the badge on the front of the shirt, will always mean much more than the name on the back of it, and that's the way it has to be. Dan, how much is Belabor in January considering its performance in the early stages of the season? Akko, honestly, mate, good to see you, by the way. We don't get Belabor in January for anything less than 80 million. If we could get him for, okay, let me put it to you guys. If we could get him in January for 80 million, which is less than what we were quoted at the start of the season, would you take that deal? Would you take that deal knowing that he's not started the season very well? Tough one for me to decide, that is. Like and subscribe, please. Yes, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. Absolutely love the fact that so many of you come back each and every week. This is why the community is growing. And remember, it is pinned to the top. Make sure you have a look at the membership. Join that. There is going to be things that I've got a lot of ideas for that. Some crackers, maybe even some merch for the members, but we'll see what happens with it. United have reduced about 100 million in wages in the last 3 years. It's a great comment, Jarl. I'd like to know exactly how much we have reduced getting all these players out. I think it would be sickening, actually. I think it would be sickening just how much. I wouldn't be angry either, but I wish I was on. Honestly, mate, I wish I was on 20 grand a week. Love how people say only 20k a week. Football's wages are madness. Do you know what? And actually, let's see if he's still in here. So Andy's still in here, I know. Moxie's still in here. If there's anybody that's an older gentleman like ourselves, Kev's definitely in here. So, Kev, I'm not saying you're old, but of an older persuasion. Back in the day, kids his age, Kobe Manu's age, were on the YTS schemes, were cleaning the boots in the bloody changing rooms of the pros, helping them put all the washing away. Now, these kids are paid so much money that no wonder that the Garnachos of the world are turning into complete assholes. No wonder these people have these entourages around them. No wonder that their heads are turned and it affects Jadon Sancho. The money has absolutely changed that kid. Absolutely. Exactly. Shitty lose two and three when it's exactly. Pep is under pressure. Make that known. Pep is under more pressure than Amorim this weekend. Me says, plus this window alone, Ineos have got rid of 30 players. That's impressive, to be honest. Reduced over 600 grand a week in wages. It's more than that, isn't it? I think it's more than that, mate. I think it's much more. I think it's much more than that. Because look, Rashford was on what 275. Anthony was on 225. Sancho 250. I think it's more. 80 million. Yeah, I do, Tom Nash. I do. Belabor is 45, says Akko. I don't think we're getting for that much. I heard CR7 earns something like £170 a second. Honestly, mate, that fucking guy. He earns so much. Can we all agree any talk of Amorim has to stop, or does anyone disagree? This was always going to be a long-term rebuild with the state of the club or what the squad was in. I've said January now, and I stand by that. I'm willing to give this guy till January to turn it around. We've seen as much as I'll come to Lee's comment in a minute. I appreciate his comment with the formation. We have seen that goalkeepers have let us down. If he starts Sesko and Sesko hits the ground running, and Lemmy does his job in goal, the season starts to look a lot different. Top Nash saying definitely 45 to 50 million. I hope we can see. I'm with you, me. I think between 75 and 90 is realistic. Belabor, his head is already at Old Trafford, and that's not a crazy statement to make, because there was reports that he was genuinely upset that he didn't get the move to United. I'm Amorim out, but it's not his attacking style. It's when he's out of possession, the 5-2-3 doesn't work. And this is a great comment. I don't understand why we do this. When we're out of position, it does. The two wing-backs, instead of becoming attacking wing-backs, go up and down, they just sit as a flat back five. And that doesn't work. We become too rigid. It's too easy to play through. There's no one on the front side. That is my Chinese. That is my Chinese. Yeah. What we'll do, we'll wait a bit longer so Mrs. Robinson has to dish it up. 150k a week back in the old in the old days. It's crazy. Even in the 90s, wages were nowhere near where they are now. Definitely, yeah, it definitely changes it. And I started watching football in '91. Bex, Neville Scholes, even CR7 was cleaning boots. You've got to be around about the same age as me, dude. You've got to be about the same age as me. We were over 245 down. We're down to 154 million a year. There we go, Joel. Mate, if it's true, then fantastic. We aim. We am get. Love Jamie. Jamie knows that I say this out of love. We am going to end up with Rashford. Oh God, I love the way he speaks. We are going to end up with Rashford back next season. I don't think we are. Even if it doesn't work out at Barca, he'll never play for United again. We'll end up just selling him on. And maybe, I think it's more on me, honestly. With the players that have gone, you got to think Lindelof went as well. Johnny Evans, Sir Jonathan Evans. Ericsson went. Who else went? I think it's like $1 million a week or more. Class of 96 all cleaned the boot room and worked around the training. Oh, this is when football was football, though, people. This is when football was football. 3-0 down. Oh, God, sorry about that, Waha. That's mad, isn't it? Always on the YTS back in the day. Slovenia. Love that. In the last two games, we became a 4-4-2 diamond in defence. Now that I have mentioned it, you will see it in the next game. Jarl, I will keep an eye on that. You know that. And I think it's crazy to talk anyone who's hammering out even for January. Andy, I hear it. Sorry, Carl. Andy, sorry, Carl. Let me ask you this. If we're 16th in January, you're going to honestly sit there and say we need to trust the process. Dude, I don't think it. That would have to be that would be Boys to Men. To the end of the road. And it would be the end of the road from there, mate. It really would. Wage bill drops a chunk end of this season with Cassie. Does with Casemiro and Maguire. I think it's like 500 grand for the two of them. So Manchester United, actually, to be honest, we know that we've more changes coming. We know we've capped the wage bill. Again, we're changing the way that the club is run. And yes, Ineos get a lot of stick for the sackings that they did, but on the playing side of it, you have to say they've got it bang on. They've got it absolutely bang on. And I was never hammering in, to be honest. I don't like him at all. He got lucky in Portugal. A lot of people, it divides a lot of people, Amorim. One thing we can agree on, the best United song for a manager I've heard in years. Guys, there we go. If you are, hang on, Carl, I won't go without speaking to you. My reasoning would be because we all know the midfield still needs sorting out and who would come in next if it did happen. And Carl, I appreciate that. The last thing we'd want is Jose Mark II or, I mean, Christ, imagine Gareth Southgate. That would absolutely destroy us. But great one tonight, guys. I'm going to stream tomorrow at 7:30. I know there's an England game on, but I don't watch them in these group stages because they just bore me. And at the moment, I've got to be honest, Tuchel has done nothing to make me think that England are on their way to win the World Cup. Bloody hell, you scared the shit out of me then. So that for me is why I won't be watching it. I will be streaming. Good to see you all. I might have it on in the background, but who knows? Unless Kev wants to do a watch along for it, he might twist me arm. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for stopping by. Remember, the membership is in there. Make sure you click on that, join, become a member. There are some exciting things and some surprises for people who become a member or will become a parent. Yes, Moxie, I think 7:30 works better for everybody, to be fair. It gives me a chance to get home and sort out what I want to go through. Gives me a chance to sort tea out. And I think we get a lot more in with this, and we still don't miss the big games if they're on. Anthony, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. And Ben says he agrees with Carl. Amorim long-term stay. Give him time. No problem with that. And okay, folks, Oski, enjoy your Chinese, Mr. and Mrs. Robinson. Remember to hit the like. Guys, we are out of here. I will see you tomorrow, 7:30. Manchester United fans, Dan United, Brian Brigade. Ooh,